serious experience with OBS to come help me out right now. Oh, I'm actually on time though. That's brilliant. I'm live on Bolo VNR and Bolo VNR 2.0. Ain't no about to go live on TikTok. Why not? Why this is the season of exposure, eh? Everybody that's not in the right alignment and not telling the truth and not being open about whatever it is that they're actually doing. Like, this is the season. Damn. You better you just be honest, man. I'm telling you. Be honest about your flaws, be honest about everything. Just be honest. Alright, guys. That's gonna be that's my advice to everybody. Just be honest. Don't fake it. I don't like the fake it to make it thing. I'm not into it at all. And then sometimes I keep it too real. And my friend Desine told me about that. Keeping it too real, it can be an issue. It can be an issue. It can be counterproductive. Keeping it too real, being too honest, you know. Let me just plug out this because this now I don't know what to do with this microphone here, to be quite honest with you. I thought the wire was the issue. I got the wire. The other day I used the microphone without the wire, right? It was connecting, right? No, it's not connecting. There used to be 3 options on OBS. There was the default audio, and there was for people that know OBS know what I'm talking about. No, anyway. Everald Warmington. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Good morning. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning, Bolo VNR 2.0. Good morning, Bolo VNR clips. No, what is happening with Everald Warmington? Everald Warmington, in his infinite wisdom, spoke about the church. No, I haven't heard clearly what he said, but I find it mighty interesting that an individual like Everald Warmington spoke about the church. Guys, you know it really get bad, right? When Everald Warmington speaks on the church. Let us hear what he's saying, huh? Let us hear what Everald is saying, Mr. Everald Warmington. My God. These are some serious times. Everald Warmington speaking on the church. Oh, wow, sorry, my bad.
I will say this. I am not a fan of Everald Warmington, but he made some solid points today. I am not a fan of the Bulldog, but when he speaks truth, I will have to agree. I'm not one of those people who, because you're political, I make to take a side. I am not that type of person.
Okay.
But Jamaica, I want to hear you tonight. Listen to what Everald Warmington had to say about the church. Listen to it carefully.
$75 million can't build up churches. There are a lot of churches damaged, and my views I discussed with a pastor. It doesn't make sense for the church to go back to rebuild all of these structures. Okay? What the churches need to do, those who have denomination of churches close together, combine these membership into one building. Because most of these churches, anyone on Sunday don't have nobody in them. Very few people are in these churches. So the best they can do is to combine the membership.
Shots fired. Everald Warmington just fired major shots at the churches. He said most of the churches don't have anybody in them. So, just build one building. Yo, I am going to wait to hear from the apostle, Peter Chambers. I'm going to wait to hear from Mark Stewart. And I'm going to wait to hear from Mr. Apostle Jeffrey Shuttleworth. Yeah, man. I'm going to wait to hear from them. But you see, some of these churches, you know, some of them say, if you don't go a full loose, them can't do the pan you. So you see, because the church, some of them, don't look to God to bless them run to the government. The government can speak about the churches in this manner. The government can show the church under the bus in this manner. Well, a lot of people are not in the church. How are you doing in Chicago? The man said a lot of people are not in the churches anyway. So basically, church, Everald Warmington is letting you know that you guys are not effective. You guys are not effective, and who the cap fit wear it. And if it's a situation where it's not a fault of the church, we understand. But the churches that are following the right path are not compromising God's word. This does not apply to you. I'm speaking specifically to the churches that know that they have altered God's word, know that they are operating contrary to what God would want from his representatives as a head. You know, I'm speaking to those churches specifically. Everald Warmington could not have spoken down on the church in this manner. Guys, like up the video. Thank you very much. Wagwan, Mr. Anthony Elvis. I'm not saying that he's lying, but I'm just saying. He couldn't dash it in on the face. So. No, he couldn't have. You guys put yourself in a position. No. It's like Everald Warmington make it appears like, and it's not even him. It's not even him. It goes back to the church. It goes back to these people. What you say, Anthony? Anthony, come tell me what you think about what Everald Warmington say. Come tell me what you think. Me add you as a guest.
One location and having all these structures all over the place. And my concern, I'm speaking as a member of Parliament for Southwest St. Catherine. I'm speaking that capacity, whereby close to 11,000 people elected me. So I'm speaking on their behalf. Because they have concern also, and people ask me and I can't give an answer as to why the government is providing this money for you.
So not only is Everald Warmington calling out the church, but Everald Warmington is also calling out the government. Why are they giving the church this amount of money? Why are they giving the church $75 million? How are you doing, user? Blessings. No, I have to say, no, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a problem with the churches getting the 75 million. What I had was the chronological order in which things are going with the government. I believe that the government should focus on putting back people in their homes, fixing their roofs, giving them grants. It's funny how they can give JPS a loan of 150 million. It's funny how they can give at a 5.5% rate at that, It's funny how they can give them 150 million US. It's funny how they can give the church or the so-called churches 75 million. But where's the consideration? I'm talking about serious consideration from early on, like a month ago, a month and a half ago. Where was the conversation around, yo, we need to get these assessments done quickly so we can know who is most vulnerable, so we can allocate funds to them to take care of them, right? And then the other people know, we see how we can help them, because we can't help everybody. We can't give away to everybody. Let's see how we can give people some loans to pay back to the government. It's okay, Anthony. I just giving you the option because I wanted to hear your perspective, and I wanted everybody else to as well. So, but anyway, I don't normally do that. So I respect why me even ask you. So the government really, I mean, that's what I would question. Why no? Why no? When you haven't dealt with the people? That's what I would. If the churches were active shelters, that could house, I don't know, 300, 500 to 1,000 people, anywhere in between that, 500 minimum to 1,000 people. If the church could do that, and it was a more certified, established shelter, because churches offer counseling, and these people need godly counseling. You understand what I'm saying? These people need godly counseling. So true men and women of God, having people in that type of shelter and in that space would not only help them mentally, but also spiritually as well. So if it was a case where that was the initiative to target those churches that have people that are homeless and no have nowhere to turn, and it's going to take a long time before they can actually get anywhere, I could understand the 75 million. The timing of it is my thing. The timing. It's like we don't have our priorities straight as the government. You understand what I say? So,
And even the church has to be rebuilt. It's not the duty of government to rebuild the churches. There's a separation of church and state.
So Everald Warmington is saying that it's not the government's duty to rebuild the churches. Granted. That only further my point in that if these churches were shelters, it would make more sense, because it would be helping the people directly and indirectly. If the church was to be properly, sorted out in that manner. What are you doing, blessed child? So everyone, I mean, this was today, this was 29th of December on TVJ. I'm not bashing out. I just find it mighty interesting out of all the things that Everald Warmington could have come out on and spoken about, all the issues that is going on, this is the issue. This is his focus. I question the motive, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that this is another distraction. Richard, thank you for the follow. I really believe this is another distraction. I can't, it just, it's like a itch. It's like this conversation that he's bringing up to me is a distraction. The real conversation is, why hasn't the government sorted out the people that are homeless? They're going to tell us it's not the duty of the government to sort out the people that are homeless. How about it's economically the smart thing to do? If people are not up and running and working, you get paid less taxes. I said it from the get-go. When they were talking about they wanted to get the economy going, the best way to get the economy going is to get the farmers back on their feet. Farmers should be back on their feet already. Get them into a space where they become extremely productive. And one of the just a side note, one of the plans that the PNP had for farmers was to have a market for them. So as soon as their product and storage facilities as well. So as soon as their products came through, you know, they already had a market for it. And if it's a case where, you know, we have our excess, put it to the side, you can use it for other products. Like you remember when the tomatoes were thrown away, they spoiled at that farm. Tomatoes, for crying out loud, ladies and gentlemen. Tomato can make tomato paste, it can make ketchup, it can make all different type of things. There's an option of dehydrate, where you dry food and you turn it into like into dust or whatever, and it preserves for longer and you can use it another time, add water. Listen, I'm just saying.
So I don't see why the government will be stepping up to rebuilding these churches. It's not our duty. I'm not against the church. I'm a part of the church.
How is Everald Warmington a part of the church? Everald Warmington? Yo, I thought that was funny.
But funds should not be going to taxpayers. Funds should not be going to religious institution, organization in this fashion. Should not. There are many persons in this country who are atheists or what have you.
So Everald is out here defending the atheists. You hear that? Did you guys hear this? No, Jamaica gone to eat dogs. Yo, brother, only look in the sky because if I meet her right now, come to mash up this country. Did you guys hear what Everald Warmington just said a while ago? And him just slide it in and smooth and gone with it. Listen.
There are many persons in this country who are atheists or what have you.
Everald Warmington is out here defending the atheists in Jamaica. I never knew that was a thing in Jamaica. All the atheists in Jamaica, please raise your hands. Everald Warmington is out here representing the atheists. Wow. Mighty God. The devil is a liar. What about the atheists, Everald, Warmington?
There are many persons in this country who are atheists or what have you, who are not a part of the church. Some may be atheists, some don't believe in church, some don't go to church, some not a part of the church. And they're part of the tax base in this country.
All right, so we're going to go down this road. This is the road we're going to go down. We're going to go down fractionalizing the tax money. And because atheists have a problem with the church shouldn't get the money from the government to fix the church. Wow. So if the atheists them know have a problem with their tax dollars being given to church people, you see where this is going? And I'm talking about Christians specifically, religious people. I believe that Everald Warmington is setting a dangerous precedent. This is a dangerous argument. This is a dangerous argument. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys are hearing what I'm hearing and you're looking at it or I'm looking at it, but this is a dangerous precedent. Easy, what's up, Easy? This is a dangerous precedent that Everald Warmington. Let me play that again. Wow.
Persons in this country,
yes,
who are atheists or what have you, who are not a part of the church. Some may be atheists, some don't believe in church, some don't go to church, some not a part of the church. And they're part of the tax base in this country.
Did you hear how much times he said not a part of the church, don't believe in the church, not in the church? Wow. Jamaica has definitely gone in the hands of the devil. This party, this government is definitely rocking with Satan. I'm telling you. This government is definitely, they are giving Satan a lot of respect. I cannot believe I am living in Jamaica at that time like this. This is the lowest that our country has been. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get me wrong, you know. You see, when it comes on to the reason for the argument, the context of which the argument is being made, it is important. Did you guys hear the context in which Everald Warmington is making this argument? The context is a lot of people are atheists. You know, we have atheists in this country. We have people that don't believe in church, people that don't go to church, people that don't like church, people that badmouth the church, and they pay their taxes. Wow, this is a dangerous. I wonder if the PMP put out a statement yet. What are they? No, Father God. If this not revealed to the people, them say the JLP government is definitely not with you. They are not for you. They are totally against you. Wow. Let me go to this. What name? PMP. On TikTok. PMP. Right there, so alright. See if they put out a statement. No, Omar Newell birthday, that was the last post. Let me go to Facebook. Wow. What a bangarang. What a bangarang. Listen, I did not listen to this. You know, this is my raw reaction to every word that Everald Warmington is saying. Oh, we have a scallywag in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. One scallywag, two scallywag. This government is definitely rocking with the devil. Definitely rocking with the devil. Wow.
So when those in the church might not have any objection against the church receiving this. What about those persons who are not members of the churches who are part of the tax base?
Hey! You no hear this? You no hear this? Mighty God. Wow. Wow.
And you take their money and give to it with this institution. How can you explain that to the people of Southwest St. Catherine and to me?
So Everald Warmington, I people in my Southwest St. Catherine are the only people in Jamaica. I are the president. I are one. Hey, as some know, you have quite a number of arrogant. The arrogance of the Jamaica Labour Party members is through the roof. I'm talking about, man, Desmond McKenzie, Everald Warmington, Daryl Vaz, Andrew Holness Tapilis, Juliet Holness. The arrogance. Wow.
As representative.
Wow.
You see, as much as you're an evil man, as much as you're a nasty lodge man, you spoke some truth.
Keyword, some truth. Some.
Jamaica, cost it what it will. The government doesn't need to give the church any money in this country to rebuild. You see, the 75 million that they were giving the church, go give it to the people down at Petersfield for go rebuild.
I agree with that. The timing of it is my problem. The timing. That's my issue. The timing. No. I don't see why the churches would want to align themselves with this particular government because of the things that they sign off on and what they agree with. So if it was the PMP, given the fact that they had a plan for the churches, the plan that they had for the churches was understanding how churches are integrally involved in maintaining the peace within a society and having always been a humanitarian entity, feed the homeless, clothe people, the PMP was looking at it like the church gives back to the people constantly anyway. So they wanted to empower them financially on some of those projects that they would, do every single year, quarterly or whatever. Right, David, how you doing? So that was a conversation. That was a conversation, and I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with that from the PMP. My thing is, the people within the church need to support the church massively so the church can stand on its own. You understand? That's what I believe. That's what I believe. And the church, the church can use creative ways to generate social events to introduce people to God in a real powerful way, and also have and build community socialization all at the same time. Football tournaments, all type of sports tournaments and stuff like that. You understand? They've been doing it for years. They've been doing it for years. So I believe that the people should support the church. When the government gets involved in that manner, especially a government like the Andrew Honest led government, you start to think about all type of possible skullduggery and corruption that might be behind that type of move. But again, Everald Warmington angle that he took with the atheist argument. Wow. Yo, this man is dangerous, bro. I'm telling you right now. Dangerous.
I'm going to say it again. The 75 million that they were going to give the church or plan to give the church, I better than they take up the money, go give the people in my Petersfield for go start rebuild.
Antonio, what's up?
But them know why them giving the church the money, because them are use it for silence the church. Them are use it, Jamaica, for silence the church, for those mega pastors to be on their side when the revolution start. To say, what can go so? So I am saying,
no, that is something to think about. That's something to think about.
To you tonight. As much as we don't appreciate the Tutsi or we don't like the messenger, the message was solid.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that totally. I don't think it was solid. There was a chink in the armor of the message. The chink in the armor of the message was the angle of people that pay taxes that are atheists. That right there. I personally cannot brush over that. I can't brush over that. So where are we going to go now? I'm going to say I'm a Christian and I don't appreciate that my tax dollars is helping atheists that are in need. You see where we're going? This is dangerous. This is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot shake it. That part right there is really bothering my spirit. The atheist, something him come with, that bother my spirit. That argument should have never been involved in this conversation. But he did make the argument in that manner. So I'm going to scrutinize it. Because it is worthy of scrutiny. What do you guys think about that? Mighty God.
Message was solid, Jamaica. Does the church need the money? Or the schools need the money? The communities need the money. The schools need the money. And the communities need the money. The church don't need physical building. The church don't need no physical building to build up. Let us go back to the old rugged cross, Jamaica. And now you cling to the whole rugged cross. You can get under one tent, knock two tambourine, and play a little David, not for me now. Play a little David.
Again, the views and opinions of Andre is his own. I'm looking at it a little differently. The only difference is not too different. I don't disagree with a lot. The only thing I'm not rocking with is, like I said, I don't really have a problem with helping out. If there's a need, given what the churches mean to the community, the building is also important. Again, homeless people, an institution for learning, not just the Bible, but also educational wise. Some of the church buildings actually operate in that manner as well. The church is multifaceted in its service to the community, right? The churches are like that, or they are supposed to be like that. The churches are supposed to be multifaceted in their service to the people. So, going back to the old rugged cross, that is amazing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we should really gather together anywhere and just lift up praises to the Most High, prayer, thankfulness, repentance, asking for forgiveness, all of those things. Those things should happen. Those things should happen. So I don't have an issue with that. Um, but yeah, the building is the timing of that, the money to the churches. It's just not good timing. Context matters, and also priorities. The priority has to be the child and mother that is under a tarpaulin, sleeping while the rain is falling on them, on the cold ground. That has to be, ladies and gentlemen, has to be the focus before we go into sending $75 million to churches. Mass control, what they do. He said people can worship anywhere, but people have to live somewhere. Build houses for the people. The government is not responsible for building places of worship. Will they also rebuild mosques, etc.? Okay, I hear what you're saying, mass control. Great point. You're looking at it from that perspective again. I am looking at it as timing, priority. It's bad timing, and it shouldn't be the priority right now. That money could be used in many different ways. You understand what I'm saying? Many different ways, ladies and gentlemen. But let's continue.
And a little David tonight. Make a talk a little bit more tonight. Play a little David. And I hear to play little David. The church can gather.
Hi,
The 75 million could actually build the 75 houses or 75 one-bedroom house at $1 million. Make we build back institutions first. Make we build back schools first. Make we build back hospitals first. Make we build back homes first.
Unique, what's up? You to go on your bed? Where you say sleep? You know, say, me not answer, me go lawyer. Because you're good, man. Go and dash me. Go and dash me. Choose me single. Choose me single. People them when single, they love show off on people, But it's alright. It's alright. It's okay.
Because majority of these churches are under church unions. And for years you not pay the taxes and pay this and pay that to church. So if you not pay to church, Jamaica, the church should have the money put down.
No, I not agree with Andre upon that one there. I am not attacking the church. Me personally not attack. Because you see, you have to know how church run. You have to know how church run. Churches have expansion. You see me? Churches have expansion. Them expand the church and expand them service to the people in the community. So where you think that money comes from? When them have them projects where them give back to the community, not just when Hurricane Melissa come or any hurricane. You have churches. I'm not about real church. Please follow me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not about fake church. They might take people money and them nah do. And then when in this case, yeah, we can understand because I know the real church they might get their money there. I know the real pastor and apostle them that is working on behalf of the Most High. that is a part of the body of Christ is getting those money, you know. So, you know what? Never forget everything when me say a while ago. Andre, them church there, yeah man. Yeah man. Just
The church
yeah man.
need a physical building.
Yeah man.
That is your argument, Miss Verona Grant. The church needs a physical building. I will simply say this again. The church can gather and worship. But where we are right now, where we are presently, Joe, if you listen to the arguments of that Tutsi, the money is being spent on building the churches. Let us build those monies and issue those monies to communities and people. Take, for instance, all of those people coming out of the Petersfield shelter in a few.
Exactly.
Tomorrow they might come out.
Exactly. Mighty God. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow they might come out of the shelter. Why the government never called them and say we're giving you $1 million each? That's my opinion and your opinion. And some of you religious, sacrilegious people over here, who know in the Holy Ghost, in the Holy Ghost, I want to go on, I want to feel myself tonight. But people need homes. People need schools. They need hospitals. The church needs no physical building to worship. And the church is the people. All of these people are homeless and if you take up money, go get to church. To build church. Build communities. Build people. Build schools. Build hospitals. And then after you can look at the churches. After Jamaica, you can look at the churches. But where we are right now, I'm going to remind you about the Prime Minister. Want to remember when he said sin again?
All right, so like I said, I've said my piece on it. My opinion is quite different. There's a lot of differences in my opinion. The timing is off. You know, the immediate issue we have right now is it's not just Petersfield. There's a lot of people that are homeless, yo. There's a lot of people that need immediate assistance. Andre, when he said that people can gather anywhere and have church, he's right. He's right. He's right about that. He's absolutely right about that. Right? He's absolutely right about that. And you know, I think that the church really needs to have a separation from the state in a way. In a way. The church, because church needs to stand up with the utmost level of integrity. The church voice needs to be united and strengthened, especially when it comes to certain things. You understand? And the way things are going right now, the church is divided. One side is pushing towards having, blessing certain unions that are not of God. And there's just a few out there talking against it. Just a few brave, true men and women of God that is saying, no. We don't hate these people. We love them. That's why we say, come to Christ, baptize, and move away from that sin because we don't want to burn in hellfire. The word of God is very clear. Same with other sins, adultery, everything. That is the message from the church. So the church needs to stand with a certain level of integrity and fire. The church cannot be lukewarm when it comes to the word of God. It should never be. It should never be that. Never be that. you know, but it appears as if, you know, this is where we're at. So I wanted to touch on that. No, Andre, I don't know what Andre gonna say. I know. Let's see what happens.
Want to remember? Want to remember this?
Administration, staff, operational arms, and their various agents and agencies. Lord God and Eternal Father, I come acknowledging that we have sinned against the people of Jamaica. We have sinned against our fellow man.
Yay!
We have sinned against our family members and relatives. We have sinned against our neighbors, strangers, and visitors. We have sinned against the children, the youth, and the unborn. We have sinned against the poor, and the weak, and the elderly, and the sick. We have sinned against the free and the imprisoned. We have sinned against those in the care of the state, including the children, the mentally ill, the elderly, the prisoners, and others. We repent, O God.
Now, even in the midst of telling the truth, Andrew Onis tells lies. Yo, this was so hypocritical, bro. And to be honest with you, Andrew Onis is not the only hypocrite. A lot of us, yo, we are so hypocritical. Yo, man, to say, God will not be mocked. God will not be mocked. I am so, oh my God, me I try, trust me. Yo, me I try, boy. Man, Father, you know, man, boy, brother, I do not want to piss God off. Like, man, this dude right here, bro. The man come up and say he sin against everybody, all the future people, them in a bonnet. And then the man, you would think that after an event like this, Andrew Onis would humble himself as a leader and stop sinning against the people. But the man coming like him, turn up his sin then, brother. Yo.
All our sins committed against these and all persons, local and international, in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And then you see him upon the weeping wall, the wailing wall at the Jews.
Exactly.
And you ask yourself,
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you tonight, though, for all who are listening, tonight, do you agree the government should give that $75 million to the church? Or should the government refuel those funds to people, ordinary Jamaicans who need housing structures? Who would you say? Do we give it to the church? Or do we give it to the people who are in need?
Question, guys. What do you...
Who do you give it to, Jamaica?
Put your comment in the comment section.
Who you give it to, the established churches in the country?
Type church or type
Or do
people?
you give... What would Christ have done?
Good question.
In this teachable moment, we must ask ourselves,
Good question.
what would Christ have done?
That's a good question.
Would he have given it to the synagogue?
Or giving it to the
Or
people?
would he have given it to the people?
I think he would give it to the people. I think God...
Would he give it to the homeless?
I think
or
God,
would he have turned it over to the churches?
That kind of ends our conversation right there. I think God is going to give it to the people. Yeah, man. Everybody in the comment section, let me know. What do you think the government should have done with the 75 million? Give it to the church or give it to the people? And when he asked the question, what would Jesus do? Jesus would give the people. Jesus would help the people. Jesus now walk past people and says they need help and now help them. Now walk, especially when they are calling and beckoning unto him for help. He's not gonna pass them and not help them. You see it all over the book. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Temples. What would Christ have done?
Mm-hmm.
Many of you can't answer that question.
No, listen.
But I'm going to.
I don't know. Listen, listen. The truth will set you free, you know. The truth will set you free. Aline said, give it to the people. Well, so why them a block your message? Why them a block Aline message? Approve. She not type nothing wrong. Yo, man, I've got to check them filtered comments business. How them just block out your message? I guess because you type too fast. Hey, how you doing, maiden? Say, why build the churches? Can the people live there? See, big up yourself, maidens. That's why I preference my argument, you know. Tyleria says, give it to the people. That's why I preference my argument by saying, if it's a case where the church is a shelter, and it really is a place where people go to have shelter, even me talk about regular homeless people, right? And this is a place where they get help, they get somewhere to stay, sleep, and not be out in the elements and stuff like that. If it's a space like that, I can understand the government helping the church to rebuild, because that is helping the people, the less fortunate, the homeless. But the timing, nah. We have some serious. Even the money that they gave JPS. I am questioning that amount of money that they lend to JPS, and they still haven't given the people in those areas, in those spaces, that type of money. So it's like everybody else. It's like the people last. The people come last, and they should be first. So it's the timing, it's the chronological order in which things are happening. Guys, tap up the screen for me, man. Share up the live, man. Help me with the TikTok goals, man. This is late night, unique. They are born me out, so I forgot my bed. Got your bed, man.
Ask you again. What would have Christ done? And not because Everald Warmington is an evil, treacherous monster. Evil monster speaks truth sometimes.
The biggest thing that I don't like the precedents and the argument. The foundation of Everald Warmington's argument is what I am arguing. He spoke about atheists, and if they don't like and all of this. If we should go down that road, ladies and gentlemen, Christian people pay them tax too. So when you're gonna give the tax dollars now, if you go keep dance, when you're gonna give the tax dollars now to revel against God, do we really want to go down this road, ladies and gentlemen? We don't. We do not want to look at it from that perspective. And I really want to hear from Perry about this. I don't know if he spoke about it on his show last night, but I would really somebody who respect Perry, you know what I mean, Mystic Sensation, Mr. Wayne knows something. Would I love to hear them perspective. Mark Stewart and Peter Chambers and Mr. Jeffrey Shuttleworth is at the top of the list of what I would love to hear from them. I am salivating to hear them speak on this particular issue, or this conversation that Everald Warmington stirred up. I am salivating, ladies and gentlemen, to hear the scripture that will be used, the word that will be used to address this particular camp. I am waiting patiently, trust me. True.
And we have to agree, Jamaica, that the argument propagated by Everald Warmington, as much as we don't like him, Jamaica, it was an honest, fact-worthy checking of the realities that the church don't need it. The people do. If you empower communities and people, the people will be able to go and build their churches. If you empower institutions like the school, the people will be able to use the school to go and have church. Remember, a lot of these schools can be used to facilitate churches.
Respect.
So rather than give institutions as the church the physical one, let us build institutions for community development. for schools, educational opportunities, for welfare, for the health of the people. And then we can look at the church. That's my argument tonight. And I know some church people and some Christians. And I go to church. I go to church, Jamaica. Everybody knows that I go to church. Everyone knows Jamaica, that I go to church. And what will you be doing on New Year's Eve? Are you going to come to crossover with me? Ishmael, play the crossover. Are you going to come to crossover with me this New Year's Eve?
All right. I'm going to move on now. Guys, make sure you go check out Andre's show last night. I wanted to touch on that. Know where we are financially in the country, because the 75 million is all about finances anyway. Colin bed. OUR and JPS in bed. Civil unrest in Jamaica. Police must serve. Police must serve and protect. I am gonna go to that, because the argument, the little that I heard from Perry, very interesting conversation around the police force. Very interesting conversation around the police force, and it has to be said and it has to be echoed. I have spoken on it similarly in that vein. Yes, corrupt church leaders will squander away to hide money. There is less checks and balances. This is true. This is true. Could the 75 million be a way for them to fleece money from the government? Me nah look. Me nah look.
Chop with them. Obi with that, we were at about 1,030 viewers when the chop is
Hold on there. Them chop off Colin Bell. Them me nah have to go back to you one way when I said before. No man, me I forget this man. Me can't. You're mad. Ralston man right now. What? Look at you, Ralston man saying, man.
Trade deficit 3.9 billion. Car, yep.
Right, which one Jamaica?
PMP. Without any doubt.
Okay, all right.
And we call any labor right to come challenge us on that.
Okay, all right.
Blessings.
Well, next
and without any doubt.
Okay, all right.
And yeah.
Out of PMP, me not political, Mr. Todd, word speaking. Out of PMP and labor, which one Jamaica?
PMP. Without any doubt.
Okay, all right.
And we call any labor right to come challenge us on that.
Okay, all right.
Blessings.
Well, next one.
At 225 million Jamaican, them say them spend on food and something. Not my word. I don't think we have gotten an update on how much has been spent now. Let's continue.
Take it again.
Yeah.
Before Andrew was coming up over, I seen do a thing from public PMP. I will have 2 bags. This have a PMP, this have a labor in the power. And to me, instead I come and do better, I come and do worse. As far as I'm concerned.
What is worse? This is the worst we have ever seen a government operate in this country. This government has squandered the most money.
True.
Have the biggest overrun in the history of Jamaica. But continue, listen. We're going to talk to Ralston and you will hear some more.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Take care. Let's take a class.
Blessings. Ralston, good evening.
That this
yeah, man. Blessings. Yeah, man.
Good day, man. You hear that call a while ago?
Yeah, man.
How much the government has collected? Well, I just said to the caller that this government has collected the most taxes in the history of Jamaica. Is that true?
Yeah, man. That's correct.
Give us some comparison if you can.
Oh, not difficult now, since we're up there, but them collect the most taxes.
way more than any other administration.
Yeah, man. 899, almost $1 trillion last year. And them are projecting another $1 trillion and change this year. Yes.
No other administration has ever collected that kind of taxes in this country.
No. Our borrowed
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is important. Why is this important? This government has collected the most taxes that any other government in the entire history of Jamaica. Now, how have they utilized those taxes to benefit Jamaica infrastructure? How have they done that? That is important to note. 1 second, I'm going to just do this thing up on TikTok. Alright, there we go. It's important to find out what have they actually done with those taxes. One of the problems that we've had, and the financial gurus have spoken about it, ladies and gentlemen, is the underspending of the capital budget. Why is this important that the capital budget is spent properly? It is important because the infrastructure, the cleaning of the drains, the actual roadways itself and how they are constructed and built, all of it surrounds the capital budget, right? And they've underspent that in consistent amount of years. So while collecting the most taxes, they haven't used it in a way to really properly benefit the people of Jamaica and Jamaica. And that's just the honest truth about the matter. It is the honest truth about the matter, guys.
kind of money that they borrow.
The GLP in government has borrowed the most money in Jamaica. Is that true?
Yeah, man.
In between 2007 and 2012, they borrowed over 2.4 billion US.
$2.4 billion, yeah, from the multilateral agency.
And this year again, they are going to borrow about 3.6. It's more than 3.6, maybe 4.8 billion.
Mm-hmm.
But Branston, where them get this argument from that GLP managed the economy better than PNP?
I just the same argument like with the Republicans them having in the US, man. The same thing. But people are looking for the numbers and I check the thing objectively. So I just talk, yeah. They call it over and over and over, and to some people it become a reality. And some of the other people are not doing enough to oppose that.
Why the PNP don't?
That is true. So the JLP has regurgitated this lie over and over and over again. And then them have people that jump up in the people comment section talking about 1 PM and 1 bag or something. Like and share up the video, guys. And this is the best prime minister. And when have you seen Jamaica run better than this? I mean, I say, yo, brother, you have no history for compare history, you know? You have to study the history of things. The other day, Andronis came out and somebody on Facebook, me say the person write one eulogy. Me call it one eulogy because this particular Mr. Richard U. Blackford, a historical correction to Prime Minister claim of on IFI access. In a recent address to the House of Representatives, Prime Minister Andronis asserted that 20 to 30 years ago, Jamaica was not in a position to borrow from the International Financial Institution, IFI, because of a poor borrowing reputation. That claim is not merely misleading, it is historically indefensible. 30 years ago, Jamaica was exiting, not excluded, from the IMF. By the mid-90s, Jamaica had successfully completed a long and demanding series of IMF programs. In 1996, Prime Minister P.J. Patterson publicly announced the end of Jamaica borrowing relationship with the International Monetary Fund. This was not because Jamaica was unable to borrow, but because it had met approximately 20 consecutive IMF performances tests and no longer required fund support. This is facts. I personally recall a PMP meeting at Halfway Tree Square in late 1996, which Prime Minister Patterson explained that Jamaica had earned the credibility to stand on its own. A country that completes IMF conditionality and exits a program by choice cannot by any serious definition be described as a financial discredited and locked out of international systems. Andrew Holness lied in Parliament. Andrew Holness, you're a liar. 20, 30 years ago, Jamaica could not do this. Lie. So that without apology, lie.
Vociferous in challenging these lies. Why
That's the problem.
Why they are so quiet?
That's the problem. Yep.
Lie.
We have
a caller, Willie, but before we go to the caller, Ralston, we want you to just give us an update on where we are today in Jamaica's economy.
Well, the dollar does close at 159.93. The central bank mopped up 135 billion since the start of this year. Government spent 1.1 billion between November of last year and November of this year to keep the dollar at 159.93. The unemployment rate is now about 25%, despite the fact that it's still around at 3.3%, because the agricultural sector employs 250,000 persons. Agriculture down at the state, 20,000 BPO workers are still out of work. And
ladies and gentlemen, I want somebody to challenge Ralston Hyman on those numbers. Unemployment is at 25%. That make only %. The bread basket of Jamaica was hit. All those jobs gone. Half of the highland was hit. 25% of unemployment is at 25%. That is a true figure. And in this case, when it comes to the financial statistics, Ralston Hyman is the professor. I don't trust the government. I trust Ralston Hyman. Desine say higher than that. But let's stick with 25%, right? It's way, way bigger than 3.5. Let's stick to 25%. Let's stick to that. Yeah, man. 3.5? 25? Let's stick to 25.
a significant amount of the workers, the tourism industry and government sector is also out of work. So you look at 300,000 people right there. So the employed labor force before Melissa was 1.4. So 300,000 is a quarter of that, almost a quarter. So you look at unemployment in a region of 20% thereabouts.
So you notice the math and the methodology. Lord of mercy. You notice the math and methodology, that he used. The employment was at 1.4 million. So the numbers in terms of how much people was in those sectors when he added it up came up to about 300,000. 300,000 plus is around 25% of that 1.4 million. In the when I add up everything. That's what he's saying. Hey man, I trust his math. He's a data-driven individual. I would agree with it that it's more in a design, but I would still stick with the guarded figure of 25%. Yeah, I would stick with that. Big up Ralston, man.
Inflation as at the end of November was 4.4%. And as we know, 8.8 million US of the country's infrastructure has been destroyed, right? So That's where we are at this particular point in time. Government plans to borrow from 4 billion and 3.6 billion themselves. Sometime next year fail for the recovery process. Yeah, agricultural sector down. The trade deficit is 3.9 billion from 3.7 billion last year. So that's where we are. The total export 1.2 billion, couldn't buy oil, couldn't buy food, couldn't buy imported raw material.
But the economy was surging before Hurricane Melissa.
The economy grew by 1.1% in the first quarter and 1.6% in the second quarter. Yeah? Just recovered from a recession after a drop of 2% during the second quarter of last year, 5.5% in the third quarter, and 2.4% during the last quarter.
Wow. So the economy dropped 1 point something percent, then 5 point something percent, and then whoa, say that again. No. Me need to write down the numbers there.
1.6% in the second quarter.
The economy was surging before Hurricane Melissa.
The economy grew by 1.1% in the first quarter and 1.6% in the second quarter. Yeah? Just recovered from a recession after a drop of 2% during the second quarter of last year, 5.5% in the third quarter, and 2.4% during the last quarter.
So there was no surge.
No, man. No,
the government is the biggest arm of misleading information. Is that true?
Yeah, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, maybe I'm wrong about this, but $5.5 plus 2.4 plus 2.1. What's that? 2.4. Hold on there. Oh, we get to that 75. I'm gonna go to the history. Hold on there, my people. History. See that memory. History. Alright. Oh, 2%. So it dipped 2%, then it dipped 5.5%, then the economy dipped 5.5, 2%, and 2.4. All of that come up to almost 10% dip in terms of the economy. So we were in a recession. I don't know how they would calculate that. If it would be economically correct to say that the Jamaican economy dipped 9.9% for the entire year. Would it be that they would put all those numbers together and then divide it by 4 to average out how far it dipped? Well, let us try that. If we was to divide the 9.9 into 3, it's 3.3. And if you was to add the first quarter, let us put it at 3.3, ladies and gentlemen. So, in the recovery process of trying to rebuild the economy that dipped by either 9.9% or 3.3, right? What happened? Let us hear what Ralston said.
So there was no surge.
0.2% during the second quarter of last year, 5.5% in the third quarter, and 2.4% during the last quarter.
So
in the beginning of this year,
Melissa.
The economy grew by 1.1% in the first quarter and 1.6% in the second quarter. Yeah?
So Jamaican economy grew 1.1% and 1.6% over the first 2 quarters. So even if you was to use that metric in the manner in which I am suggesting, if you was to add 1.1 to 1.6, you would get 2.7%, right? If you was to divide that 2.7% by 2, you get 1.35%. If you was to minus the 1.3 5% from the 3.3 that it went down to, how much would I get? This is the recovery process now, because remember you dip in the economy, you had a dip. So minus 1.35% from that, 1.9%. Basically, the Jamaican economy would still be behind by 1.95%. So how can you say it was surging? Surging to what? You understand? Surging to what? Somebody said, cultists, where were you 30 years ago? Jamaica had no economy. I think you need guys. What? Do you know how old I am? Man, shut up. I was still going to high school 30 years. Man, come off of my page. Man, you know when I graduated? You know when I graduated high school? Yo, you're sick, man. You sick? You gotta be joking, right? Anyway, anybody that's a cultist is Andrew Honest, talking about and spreading misinformation about 30 years ago, nobody could not borrow any money from. Madness.
Just recovering from a recession after a drop of 2% during the second quarter of last year, 5.5% in the third quarter, and 2.4% during the last quarter.
So there was no surge.
No surge.
No, man.
The government is the biggest arm of misleading information. Is that true?
Biggest.
Yeah, man. Because right now them still around that unemployment at 3.3%.
And that's a clear indication.
Hashtag Andrea. When me say blatant lie, bro, like sis, like yo, oh my, it's so frustrating when you see people come in the comment section. And it shouldn't frustrate me, you know. But you can't so dunce. Like you cannot be this dunce, bro. No way, bro.
That the government is hell-bent on bamboozling the Jamaican people. Why after the hurricane, when the country, half of the country mash up, people out of job, you are still 2 months after the hurricane running an ad that unemployment is 3%.
Listen, if the lab rats them cannot see, that the government is blatantly lying to them, they are literally under a spiritual spell. Because this is simple mathematics. You don't need Rastanheimer to come out and tell you that our economy and our unemployment rate has skyrocketed. The economy has dipped. You don't need nobody for that. That is an automatic. You heard what I said? When they, you see, if the economy was where it was at based off what they said, Jason, big up. If the economy was where it was at based off what they said, the river that came out, people need to get baptized in it. The Lord said, Daisy, big up yourself. Baptism is definitely encouraged on this platform. No joke about that. Now, when you look at it, you just removed thousands of workers from the hotel industry. The tourism industry is the golden goose of the economy, and the tourism industry was hit. I just want you to focus on that alone, and you understand what just happened. You heard what I said? The tourism industry is the golden goose of the Jamaican economy. We heavily depend on the tourism industry. And the tourism industry was so heavily hit that they fired, laid off, sent home thousands of Jamaicans. Big up yourself, Orlando, Florida. Thousands of Jamaicans. Did you guys know, side note, did you guys know that in Los Angeles there was a big flood? Is anybody here from Los Angeles? Did you guys know that there was a massive flood in Los Angeles? Where so much rain come from? Mighty God. I saw some clips. I was like, oh, is this AI? Oh, hashtag say, I beg to disagree. Remittances bring in more. This is a failed economy. Well, I agree with you on the last part, and I am not sure if remittances actually bring in more. I am just going off of what the government said to us. So, Sagar says, hi, how you doing? Bless up. Um, where is the revenue from all the mining spin-offs coming in? That alone, the country rich, tourism rich, but all that money exported, that is the problem. The ganja industry would have every man and woman and child rich. Yeah, they have not. This government, the JLP does not like Rasta. They show that in the Carl Garden incident. And everything about Rasta is frowned upon by them. If the elites don't benefit from it, they don't want to. They don't want it to be out there. Ganja, it grows uh, very rapidly, and poor people can actually make serious money off of it. So, you know, just like how they have the FLA. Is the FLA where you get your license firearm? It's a special club, and if you're not a part of that special group, you don't know somebody, it's gonna be extremely hard for you to get a license firearm. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's gonna be very hard. You feel what I'm saying? So, but anyway, back to what Desi was saying. It's true, the money is going outside of Jamaica, but what they told us is that, and then, hashtag, you might be right as well. Remittances might be definitely carrying in more money than the tourism. Why? Because of how much money Jamaica actually gets from tourism. It's a small percentage. It's an actual small percentage. Michelle, how you doing? If you're here, it's an actual small percentage.
Yeah, and 6 weeks after the hurricane, the Minister of Finance told the Prime Minister that our GDP was still at $20 billion. Mm-hmm. Let me hear this caller. We have a caller holding. Caller, go ahead.
Colonel, to fantastic. Turn us about putting the place.
Well,
all the money I
get. Good evening.
You go set you, like you talk. Okay, cool. Yeah, Ronnie. We love the truth when you talk to you.
Anybody who want to call we are not to we and them. Chop with them. Obi with
start calling. I was making note, building nice place.
Yes, man, with a climb like we are flying like a plane that take off.
Where say Paris is ruined? What is going on in Paris? There's quite a number of so there's a good night, Michelle. There's quite a number of what do you call it? European countries that are having massive protests. Guys, would you be interested in a paid live stream of this app? It's not just farmers. There's some serious protests happening against a certain country that the West bend their back over for. A lot of money is given to that country, even when they don't have any money. Anywhere they should find it, they find it for that country. Oh yes, Daisy, you already know. I don't want to say the word because, hashtag, you already know. I don't want to say the word. Oh, so the prime minister of that country was in Canada yesterday? Oh, okay. Very interesting.
Yeah, and Colin.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about that one. I know about that. I know about him. Look at the comment from Daisy. That's the one I'm talking about. Yes. The protests have been coming in. I've been hearing, send them back. Okay, I got you. I got you. Paris canceled New Year's? Wow.
I sent you something. I sent you a clip there. You can listen to it, and I sent you that original clip that you did with pertaining to yourself and I and Marlon. You can splice those together, and but you can deal with it accordingly. All right. Good. So Rally one, man. Yeah, man. There, man. There. Boy, Rally, what a thing, what a thing. I don't, Colin, and as the youth man call Colin.
Yes.
And me with point. And it's a very good youth, you know, he is from the opposition leader constituency. Very, very tough youth.
Yeah, I realize that. I watch him. I've been following him as well.
Yeah, man. Go hard a bit, but you know.
Yes. So he's saying that the 13th of January, which is my Earth Strong gentleman, the 13th of January, they said that is when the case is going to be heard.
Yes, and just a few days before that, Colin, as you know.
So Shaka. Yeah, Capricorn though. We should have known, you know. We should have known. I should have known, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaka is not a person to yeah, Shaka is not a soft person, alright? Shaka is a good individual that love people, true advocate for people, want to see the best for people, love to see people grow around him. You know what I'm saying? Good. Shaka, I should know say a Capricorn, bro. Another issue I am having is Ruby's is a French oil company. Say what? Maidens, why are you deleting your messages? Anyway, moving on.
Time is mine, so a place full of Capricorn.
Yeah, there.
Where is yours, Rally?
You know, the night is mine, so a place full of Capricorn.
So hold on, Mr. O'Brien a Capricorn too? I joke this.
Where is yours, Rally?
Done already, from April 1.
Well, it's soon come on
The backside, no wonder me can rock with the Rally. We can rock with the Ralston. April 1st. Ralston is a no-nonsense person, you know. Ralston, hey, I have a friend, not a friend. I have a, I don't even know how to describe her, to be quite honest with you. Honestly, I feel like I've known her all my life, but I haven't. And she might be watching right now, or she might not be. But I'm not afraid to put it on her card. Like, she is. How do I describe her? I don't even know what to say. It is my wish that at whatever capacity me and her share in, you know, with each other, I hope that she's always there as long as breath is in my body and hers. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. She has been an amazing friend, and she values me as a friend as well. She values me as a friend. There's nobody would be able to come between me and her as friends. Nobody. At any point. You cannot come to me with a conversation and tell me about my friend. You understand what I'm saying? Oh yeah, she is ooh, listen to me. She has a furnace blazing inside her spirit. You do not want to raise that fire and wake it. You're doing not a doing business who you is. Listen. no bother with it. No bother with it. Alright? Don't bother with it. She always have my back. She always have my back. Always have my back. Let me just tell you. She's one of those friends. If she's rich, I'm rich. She's loyal to a fault if it's not replicated. If she gets the same level of loyalty from the people that she gives loyalty to, then it's not a fault. If you understand what I'm saying. I won't go too deep into it. But I pray that God keeps her strong. I pray he continues to maintain her peace and serenity. I pray that he prospers her, not because I want any of her prosperity, just because she deserves to be prosperous. Still worth listening. It's right here. If you look at the pin comment, it's DH7220. That's the cash app. DH money sign, of course. DH7220.
So, it's soon come.
Big up, brother.
April 1, no, I have an aunt whose birthday is on the 1st of April, too, you know, Auntie Plumbing. Yeah, man. So, Raleigh, we were asking you a while ago, where the labor rights get this thing from when them say the GLP run the economy better? At what stage they have ever been doing good in running the economy?
And for all the persons asking about like cash up and stuff like that, it is pinned in the comment section. For TikTok, you guys see it right there. But for the persons in the comment section, all you have to do is check out Nightbot. Nightbot has most of the information that I would want you guys to know right there, Zine. So you can see, just look at the messages with Nightbot. Showing support with a like and comment. Creators need creators. I am live right now too, and I see. Blessings to the hosts and the real ones. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. How to spell Mark? That's an interesting name. Big up yourself. Let's continue.
And you remember anything?
Well, they'll tell you that during the 1960s, when we just got independence, when they were implementing the plan developed by Norman Manley and Crabney Assault. So, one thing spill over to the next government. So they'll tell you about the 8 and 10% economic growth or GDP growth at that time, but they will not talk about the social deficit, the massive levels of illiteracy, the massive levels of unemployment, the massive level of lack of education, no housing. And that is why Michael Manley came to power in 1972, because it was almost at the brink of a revolution. And that is...
Wow. So that's interesting. I never knew that. So the context truly does matter. So you're telling me that on the surface level, it appeared as if is that the 1960s, he said?
So, one thing still over.
You remember anything?
Well, they'll tell you that during the 1960s, when we just got independence, when they were implementing the plan
developed by Norman Manley and Crab Nether Soul. So, you know, one thing spill over to the next government. So they'll tell you about the 8 and 10% economic growth or GDP growth at that time, but they will not talk about the social deficit, the massive levels of illiteracy, the massive levels of unemployment, the massive level of lack of education, no housing. And that is why Michael Manley came to power in 1922, because the country was almost on the brink of a revolution. And that.
Wow, I gotta clip that up. I have to. I never knew that. I never knew that. 1960s? It was at the brink of a revolution because of how the JLP was managing the economy? What? That's crazy, bro. Let me just... So, hold up. Why is desktop? Why is the desktop not? Huh? What is this? Why is the desktop audio not moving? Okay, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong with OBS. Something is wrong with OBS. Alright, so let me try. Let me just play this and come back. Give me a second.
From when them said the GLP run the economy better. At what stage they have ever been doing good in running the economy? Can you remember anything?
Well, they'll tell you that during the 1960s when we just got independence, when they were implementing the plan developed by Norman Manley and Crab Nether Soul. So, you know, one thing spill over to the next government. So they'll tell you about the 8 and 10% economic growth, GDP growth at that time, but they'll not talk about the social deficit, the massive levels of illiteracy, the massive levels of unemployment, the massive level of lack of education, no housing. And that is why Michael Manley came to power in 1972, because the country was almost on the brink of a revolution. And that is why the popular music, rather than what we are hearing now, at that time was people like Ben Riley that said, "Better must come," Juna Bynes that sing, "I'm gonna have a beat of Babylon," Max Romeo, "Let the Power Fall," and "I Fire," yes. All of those songs. Yes. Yeah. Because of the massive social deficit, because GDP is just a measure how fast the economy is going. Yes. I tell you about income inequality and well-being and all of those things.
And them time the woman and man do the same work and the man get more pay and the woman get less
pay.
Yes,
precisely. No maternity leave and all of those things.
Right.
That kind of stuff. So they are just talking about the numbers. They're not talking about the improvements in the quality of life. So that's it. And it makes no sense that the numbers are increasing and the quality of life not increasing, because economics is about improving the quality of life of people and developing the country. None of that was taking place at that time.
Hold on, Carla. I was seeing the same thing now, Raleigh, where the government is awash with cash. In fact, my listeners and viewers, since Hurricane Melissa, the government has collected both in donation, insurance money, borrowed money that we have to pay back. They are now sitting on over 115 billion. I mean, billion with a B. $115 billion is at the government disposal, and they have not started spending that money while people down at Westmoreland asleep on the tarpaulin, asleep in a car, asleep in a school, and the government not start spending money yet.
And most importantly, one of their chief technocrats, one of the Bank of Jamaica, is urging them to start spending the money.
What do you think, and I want the Labour right them to answer this on a platform, or anyway, come here, so come on side. What is now happening? Why the governor of the Bank of Jamaica is now criticizing the Andrew Holness-led administration?
Well, his main mandate is to contain inflation. In containing inflation, you have to pursue policies that slow down the economy or cause the economy to contract. And what he's saying, if they do not start doing those things, then he'll be forced to keep containing inflation. That means keeping interest rates high and containing the cost of life. Mm-hmm. And he knows that that's going to hurt a significant amount of people, not just now, but also in the future. So he's urging them to start doing what they're doing in order to not make his difficulties so great.
Hold on there. Carla, good evening. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Bell. Not try to get up on the television, we can't get it. More files. Is it live, Everald?
This is live. Right now we are live, but the internet just kicked us off a while ago, so you might have to go back and restart your television and all of that. to get to back.
Okay, 2 million a year, they are them talk nothing about SSL and them things.
No, man, we did a whole heap about SSL, but SSL for us, Raleigh, myself, Obi have a little more faith than we. We think this is just a smoke screen to move the focus from the money that they're not spending, the hurricane relief, and the plan where Christopher Tufton a plan to do with the medical waste. It's just smoke screen that they're creating. What you think, Ralston?
Yeah, but that's a distraction, man. You know, me right now, I'm not very upbeat about that because in other jurisdictions, when people find themselves in a disposition, then they get bail the same day and then they get $1 million bail and all of those things.
Yeah, what is that? Station bail at $1 million.
Joke thing, in Jamaica, when police were messed up, them come till Friday night or Saturday and they now come back out until the other week.
Because you have to see the judge before you get bail.
Precisely. So it's only in this case you find those things are happening. So that also tells you that they are not serious. And with the multiplicity of charges that they are talking about, in other jurisdictions, even in the USA where people are losing ratings for, same thing happen. When you find yourself in a position where you now come back a road until the man them face again. And you know,
or until you face a judge.
That's the point I'm making. And if you're found guilty, you get 150 and 70. Take about Burning made of Martha Stewart, Sam Bankman Fried, and all of those people and so after them. So those things are a big thing.
Raleigh and Colin.
Yeah, go ahead, Odie.
You know, we understand what happened there with the bail situation. But, you know, where I'm at with this, where are the people in all of this, Raleigh and Colin? Because here it is, a young man or a young woman evil find themselves with a misdemeanor. As they said, the police come for them Friday evening and they spend the entire weekend. What should the people do in this case, Raleigh? Even though the police may have, one probably say little, conducted themselves within the ambit of the law to grant bail. But why this doesn't obtain for you and I, our ordinary brothers and sisters, Raleigh? And these are things that we have to have major pushback in the society about. You know, it is so patently unfair.
The man that read the signal, nobody not care in the society. So then that's they must not never happen because they most of nobody not care. The average man in the street, he not really care about nothing. He not really care about nothing, and the people who say them are well thinking Jamaicans, them come from the same group as the people who involved in these things, so it's not coming like that to them.
And the average man don't care when it happened to him.
Yeah, precisely. I really don't care. Yeah, there's no sense of nation within it. That is the problem. Yeah.
And the average man will not get this favor. So the average man needs to start feather his or her net. Start to look out for ourselves.
Yeah, but the average man is so much focused on survival and individuality. That's in the business with nothing. And that is why the process of education and civic education is so important, because the average man now make the connection between those things and the hunger and the deprivation they must suffer.
Thank you guys for sticking around. I had to go and relieve myself, you know. Yeah, man, bless up on yourself for that one. Alright, so I still have to plug in this phone. Wait a minute. So how come we're just at 77%? Why is this phone not charging? I guess at night time it kind of optimizes away. But I apologize, guys. I have to go back. You know what? I have to go back. Sorry. No, this is too important.
So you know,
They're doing good in running the economy. Can you remember anything?
Well, they'll tell you that during the 1960s when we just got independence, when they were implementing the plan developed by Norman Manley and Crabtree.
Thank you guys for liking and sharing.
One thing spill over to the next government. So they'll tell you about the 8 and 10% economic growth or GDP growth at that time, but they'll not talk about the social deficit, the massive levels of illiteracy, the massive levels of unemployment, the massive level of lack of education, no housing. And that is why Michael Manley came to power in 1972, because it was almost on the brink of a revolution. And that is
massive levels of illiteracy, massive levels of unemployment. How do you boast about so? Like the Jamaica Labour Party is the only party that could boast about a time when that happened. Like they are so wicked. I would be ashamed to be a part of a government that was the reality. and I boasted about those years. Hmm? How do you boast about years like that? How? Them too terrible, man. I know the context matter. Sure. Then we stop it. I try to turn on my phone. There we go.
Why the popular music rise rather than what we are here now at that time when people like Ben Riley and Rebecca must come, Juna Bynes and be like man of a beat of Babylon, Max Romeo, Let the Power Fall and I Fire,
Yes.
all of those stuff. Yes.
Yeah,
Because of the massive social deficit, because GDP doesn't measure how fast the economy is going.
Yes.
I tell you about income inequality and well-being and all of those things.
And them time the woman and man do the same work and the man get more pay and the woman get less
Yes,
pay.
precisely. No maternity leave and all of those things. You get that?
Right.
That kind of stuff. So, yeah.
There's so much injustice when I go on under the Jamaica Labour Party. I wonder who came and changed that.
Just talking about the numbers. They're not talking about the improvements in the quality of life.
Right.
So that's it. And it makes no sense that the numbers are increasing and the quality of life not increasing, because economics is about improving the quality of life of people and developing the country. None of that was taking place at that time.
Hold on, Carla. I was seeing the same thing now, Raleigh, where the government is awash with cash. In fact, my listeners and viewers, since Hurricane Melissa, the government has collected both in donation, insurance money, borrowed money that we have to pay back. They are now sitting on over 115 billion. I mean, billion with a B. $115 billion is at the government disposal, and they have not started spending that money while people down at Westmoreland asleep on the tarpaulin, asleep in a car, asleep in a school, and the government has started spending money yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, how do you, as a labor right, you talk to the labor right them, right? How do you justify that? What would Jesus do? How do you justify having, how much you say, 115 billion? Hold on.
Billion with a B. They are now sitting on over 115 billion. Billion with a B. $115 billion is at the government disposal, and they have not started spending that money while people down at Westmoreland.
So Shaka, we need to find out if a Jamaican dollar you talk about our US. Because that is important. Are we talking about Jamaican dollars or are we talking about US dollars? Which is it? Either way, still no. 115 billion. Woo. Lord have mercy. 115 billion. Jamaican dollars. That's a lot. 115 billion. Did you say 15 or 50?
115 billion.
15.
Billion with a B. $115 billion is at the government disposal, and they have not started spending that money while people don't have.
No. 115 billion. 115 billion. I think that is US. I think it's US. What do you guys think? I want some clarity on that though. Yeah man, I want some clarity on that. Turn on the light a little bit for now, yeah? So it look bright up on the screen. Yes. Let me see if I can turn on light for now, yeah? No, I don't see that option on TikTok. Can't turn up the brightness. Alright. It's clear enough though, you can't see me. Do you know about the bombing at the Manly Days in Seniors facility? Oh yes, you're talking about what's the name of that shelter again, man? What's the name of that shelter again? A lot of old people was there. I know what you're talking about, Desi. I know what they're talking about. It's 115 billion US dollars. Mighty God.
A Westmoreland, asleep on the tarpaulin, asleep in a car, asleep in a school, and the government does not spend the money yet.
And most importantly, one of their chief technocrats, the one of the Bank of Jamaica, is urging them to start spending money.
What do you think, and I want the Labour right them to answer this on the platform, or anyway, come here, so come on side. What is now happening? Why the governor of the Bank of Jamaica is now criticizing the Andrew Holness-led administration?
Well, his main mandate is...
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. The eventide home. Thank you. That's the same one. The eventide home. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, the eventide home. Thank you so much, the Lord Mouthpiece. Thank you.
His main mandate is to contain inflation. In containing inflation, you have to pursue policies that slow down the economy or cause the economy to contract. And what he's saying, if they do not start doing those things, then he'll be forced to keep containing inflation. That means keeping interest rates high and containing the supply. And he knows that that's going to hurt a significant amount of people, not just now, but also in the future. So he's urging them to start doing what they are doing in order to not make it difficulties so great.
Hold on there. Caller, good evening. Right.
Yes, Mr. Bell.
Right now we are telling you more the money that they're not spending, the hurricane relief, and the plan where Christopher Tufton a plan to do with the medical waste. It's just smoke screen that they're creating. What you think, Ralston?
Yeah, man, that's a discussion, man. You know, me right now, I'm not very upbeat about that because in other jurisdictions, when people find themselves in this position, then they get bail the same day and then they get $1 million bail and all of those.
Yeah, what is that? Station bail at $1 million.
No thing. In Jamaica, when police want to mess you up, then come till Friday night or Saturday and go and come back out until the other week.
Because you have a city judge before you get bail.
Precisely. So it's only in this case you find those things are happening. So that also tell you that they are not serious. And with the multiplicity of charges that they're talking about, in other jurisdictions, even in the USA where people are losing ratings for, then things happen. When you find yourself in a position there, you know, come back a road until the man then finish again. And, you know,
or until you face a judge.
Rather the point I'm making, and if you're found guilty, you get 150 and 70. Check about Bernie made up, Martha Stewart, yeah, Sam Bankman Fried, and all of those people and so on to them. So those are just a big thing.
Raleigh and Colin.
Yeah, go ahead,
you know, we understand what happened there with the bail situation. But, you know, where I'm at with this, where are the people in all of this, Raleigh and Colin? Because here it is. A young man or a young woman able find themselves with a misdemeanor and the police come for them Friday evening and they spend the entire weekend. What should the people do in this case, Raleigh? Even though the police may have one probably say little conducting themselves within the ambit of the law to grant bail. But why this doesn't obtain for you and I, our ordinary brothers and sisters, Raleigh, and these are things that we have to have major pushback in the society about. You know, it is so patently unfair.
Because the man that read the signal, nobody not care in the society. So they're not going to know nothing happen because they know nobody not care. The average man in the street, he not really care about nothing. He not really care about nothing. And the people who say them are well-thinking Jamaicans, they come from the same group as the people who involved in this thing. So it's not coming like that.
And the average man don't care when it happens to him.
Important. So that 115 billion is in US. It has to be. Wow. No, it has to be. It cannot be in Jamaica. It has to be US. Because the 3.6 billion that they got in US comes up to 500 and cancel. It comes up to 572 billion. So that 115 billion that Shaka is talking about is actually US dollars. I looked at the link, man. I'm looking at it right now. I went on my computer and opened my own live and clicked the link.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, like, yeah. There's no sense of nation with it. That is the problem. Yeah.
And your link is why I came to the conclusion that I just came to a while ago. Because I was looking at the numbers that the Prime Minister welcomed. US 300 million, US 150 million, you know, all of it, how it's spread out in the 3.6 billion US. Yeah. Let's continue.
And the average man will not get this favor. So the average man needs to start with that is our next. Start to look out for ourselves.
But the average man is so much focused on survival and individuality. That's why the process of education and civic education
very important.
The average man doesn't make a connection between those things and the hunger and the deprivation they must suffer. Him not connect to that.
And that is why Colin and Raleigh, the young man Everald that just called a while ago, maybe a little bit harsh, but certainly we must feel it because we need more young people like himself to basically be out there saying that they are standing behind the stop certain things in order to make their voices heard. However, it turns out at the end of the day, but
let me take a call.
They are prepared to let their voices be heard.
All are different.
Why so?
I'm going to pencil it out. Watch out. Remember, when the incident just broke out, you know, most of them said, Cross-Freedom wasn't a suspect, you know.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And he was set free.
Yes.
Right? To roam freely. All right. Why now them choose to arrest him? Why now?
PR.
It's obvious to say this is not coming from the Jamaican government. It's obvious. And that is the reason why them rush to charge him and wait him there. And pin them charges on him. You understand what I say? Remember saying Mr. Bell? Nobody remember nothing boys to say no. Nobody at all remember nothing boys to say. So why they would arrest him to arrest this man here? So this man is a close confidant to the Prime Minister.
Are
why?
you suggesting?
Them man build up their reputation, you know. Them man reputation strong in the street, you know. And money, them man business is about, you know. Business and money.
So
the mere fact say arrest this man here. Hey.
Are you suggesting that the FBI is now a part of this?
I don't know if it's the FBI or who it is, but it is not coming from the Jamaican government. It is obvious. It's not. Because nobody at all remember them about SSL.
Well, Ed Boy told us yesterday morning that some American citizen lost some money in SSL.
Yeah.
And they made a report to the US authorities. That's what Ed Boy told us yesterday. And he's saying the same thing that you are saying. It is because of the United States pushback why this is not happening.
Yes, not only that, Mr. Bell, the US dollar is a property of the United States. Anywhere the US dollar, you know. Once you are misrepresented to the US dollar, it's a property of the United States, you know. Anywhere in the world, you know. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So my thing is that you cross straight and the next brother. Them money make that for their reputation have to do business with money. Money them deal with. The mere fact say you arrest them money, you have to tarnish their reputation, nobody not gonna want to do business with them. So why it can't be a smoke screen for the Jamaican government to say, hey, mama just lock you up then and charge you.
Because they have been charged. They have been charged.
Yeah, they have been charged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on,
serious.
Hold on the truck. Raleigh, the fact that they have been charged. What do you say about it?
What about them charged?
Operating without a license.
Yeah, what them charged? Anybody charged for?
No, hold on. Isn't there one of the charge? Soliciting people to invest fraudulently.
Yeah, but nobody not charged for fraud.
A fraud would be the charge.
Yeah. Nobody not charged for fraud. Everybody gets station bail at the same time.
Everybody gets station bail.
And $1 million station bail. Nobody not charged for fraud there.
I listen. I hear what the Virginia say. I know what he's talking about in terms of what Head Boy said, but I just cannot shake this feeling. My first initial video that I did on this SSL thing was distraction. One big distraction. Nothing is coming of it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I believe in the core of the center of my heart. I think that we are being played. The FID is not a serious organization as far as I'm concerned, because Dennis Strong-headed. And Dennis Strong is an associate of Andrew Owens. So I cannot in good faith sit here and say to you, I am excited. I feel like people are going to go to prison. And then the next day, look what happens. How does this man and his daughter and the next brother, how do they get station bail at the cost that they got it? if it was a serious case, when I looked at the picture of you cross screen, walking behind the police, let me know everything I need to do. Nothing is coming of this. That is my opinion. If I am wrong, it will be a joyous day in Jamaica. And if I'm right, I was right. Hey, I'm not losing any sleep, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I'm not losing any sleep.
Them are really away there. One click.
Hold on, Charles. Go ahead, Rally.
Yeah.
Right, so that's one. Nobody got charged for something. Two, you have to charge somebody, you have to also find evidence to convict them.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. One to the computer, then Mr. Tom, SSL.
Aye.
But they are no.
Where is those computers? Where them there? Where them gone? Where them there?
Saying that the DPP saying that they have enough. That's why the DPP tell them now to charge them. 12 days ago, the DPP tell them,
I noticed none of the charges involved fraud.
Right. That is what I was saying. I want to go back to the news clip where list out the charges. Let me see.
Breaches of Securities Act, breaches of Bank of Jamaica Act, breaches of this, breaches of that. Yeah.
Hold on.
Nobody charged for fraud.
Let's listen to this. Hold on, Carl.
Former Stocks and Securities Limited Director Hugh Croskery, his daughter Sarah Meany, and ex-CEO Zachary Harding are being questioned by authorities on reasonable suspicion of breaching multiple financial and corporate laws. The Financial Investigations Division also says multiple electronic devices and documents related to the collapsed investment firm were seized during today's pre-dawn operations in St. Andrew and St. James as part of the ongoing investigation into the collapsed investment firm. The Financial Investigations Division says investigators are assessing all matters arising and forensically inspecting all evidence collected. Croskery, the founder of SSL, his daughter and her husband Dermot were taken from separate premises in St. Andrew and Kenshaw District, St. James, during the coordinated operations that included FID, the police, and a major organized crime and anti-corruption agency. The FID said Croskery and Meany were taken into custody on reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Bank of Jamaica Act, the Securities Act, the Larceny Act, and the Banking Services Act. Harding reported to investigators this afternoon to be questioned in the presence of his attorney. Harding is being interrogated on reasonable suspicion of breaching the Bank of Jamaica Act, the Securities Act, the Banking Services Act, and the Companies Act. Meany's husband, Dermot Meany, was arrested for an alleged breach of the Firearms Act, which the FID claimed was discovered during the operation.
This clip don't have the charges. Sorry about it. I thought this clip had the charges.
Let him say. You hear him say? You're the operative phrase. Reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Bank of Jamaica Act, Securities Act. Everything is about reasonable suspicion. So tell me now, you believe them on there would have them devices at them yards for the last 3 years?
The people can find it. You're probably doing a rally.
Yo, bro, you can't make this up, brother. I tell you, I am with Ralston Hyman on this one. I am sorry, guys. I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Even hot off of the press. Hot off of the press put up one post about saying, where is it? Oh yeah, see what she said here, so? She said this. I told you, Jamaica, this is all a sham, PR stunt. How can they charge these two and grant them bail while Jean Panton remained in jail and her bail was denied? It's all a PR to clear Andrew Owen's name and bring peace of mind to overseas financial institutions and investors. Don't you forget, Jamaica Mocha FID is in the Prime Minister's office and Andrew Ones is the National Security Minister. Do critical thinking. Andrew Ones is the acting National Security Minister. Don't forget that Dennis Chung sick and I recover. Ladies and gentlemen, interesting here at the beginning. This year is going to be an interest. 2026. Do I say that every last part of the year? I need to check back my last videos of last year. But I ain't gonna lie, 2025 has been full of twists and turns. This year, 2026 coming up. Ooh. And listen, we have less than 48 hours. before the clock strikes 12. Not Dennis Chung, Horace Chung, thank you. Yes, Horace Chung is sick. Him do a surgery. Thank you for the correction. Sue, yes, thank you for the correction, Sue. Thank you. He's sick. So, you know,
You see, when people believe that them control the system,
Andrew
them not get
control
afraid no
everything.
more in a rally. They are them bold. So you may be surprised because when you are connected, you might think.
No, I don't see that. I don't see that.
You don't see that?
I don't see that. No.
Well,
one to the last George.
Hold on there quickly, Colin.
Yeah.
Colin?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just get this glasses here and just hear this quickly here.
There's a last in charge.
There's something here, Colin.
Yeah,
There's something here that says that in the SSL matter, the DPP said her office recommended charges against 3 people on December 15th. And it goes on to say we found that there was sufficient material in respect of the 3 persons, and investigation continue in respect of other questions. Why did it, and it goes on, person asking, why did it take 12 days to detain the person?
I think she said we found there was sufficient material in respect of 3 persons. In respect of 3 persons, and investigation continue in respect of others. Yeah, I have that document. Zachary Harding is one of Oswald's Harding, former senator and the chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party.
And former custody of Kingston and St. Andrews, wife, son.
Ozzy Harding was one of only 2 major directors, alongside Paul Cheng Young, who were significant shareholder in Eagle Group of companies. Zachary Harding later became CEO of Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, firm with historical roots and ties to Paul Cheng Young Financial Network rally.
Yeah, man. That's crazy to run Paul Cheng Young and company limited.
Oh Lord.
Absolutely.
So this coming like a finsack. You see what I've been saying to people is that when you look at SSL and some of the things that the Integrity Commission wrote about the Prime Minister, looks like things that used to happen before the bank meltdown rally.
Yeah, it was just about to correct your calendar. I said, don't say finsack.
No,
the
bank meltdown, right. Because what used to happen back then, people used to get loaned by association.
And tell me, who in the financial meltdown went to prison all night?
Nobody.
Which was bigger than this. It cost the country $140 million. Who got prison?
Let me take another call.
Hey, you see that? You see, you can't argue logic, you know, and you can't argue facts, you know. It cost the country more. FinSac tried to fix what JLP did, lending unsecured loans because of association. It cost the country what? How much did it cost the country?
Who in the financial meltdown went to prison all night?
Nobody.
Which was bigger than this. It cost the country $140 million. Who went?
$140 million. 100 guys like up this video. It cost the country $140 million. This is 30 million US. SSL is 30 million US. What the JLP did and Siaga at that time, it cost the country $140 million US. Nobody went to jail. The man said he forgot that him borrowed the money. Mighty God of Daniel. Hey, him name can't rest, you know? Him one of the cornerstone. Come on from a page. Let's talk about propaganda and hear facts I talk. I love chat foolish to see, man. I'm just unbearable. Go on and go lay down with your wife or something, man. Who has spread propaganda? Everything what the man I talk about are facts. Everything that was mentioned a while ago is facts. I'm listening to Ralston Hyman, Colin Bell, on the Colin Bell show with Mr. O'Brien. These men are on the radio. They don't come out and speak. They don't talk lies. They're on the radio. They're in mainstream media. They're quite liable for lawsuits. They can't just come out and tell a lie, brother. You have to stop it, man. Did you research the information before you write that? You should have taken the time out to Google what he was saying first. Damn foolish.
Let me take another call.
Go ahead, caller.
We can go and remember Karen. Let's pose a question to Raleigh. Similarly to what the person just said. Raleigh, we know that the computer, they were stolen. The persons were just allowed to walk in and take out those computers because the place was actually left unmanned. A building that was under was supposed to be under surveillance. You should have security from top to whatever from top to bottom.
You know, the things that happen in Jamaica is just beyond me. Like, Jamaica is not a. How do you have a case like SSL, and from the very moment, if you're doing true and real investigation, you're going to organize everybody that needs to be organized. You have to secure the building. You have to secure personnel. They have to go under questioning with their lawyers. Go through, detailed paperwork and procedure. Ironclad, just to make sure that nobody can say you went ahead with this investigation in a manner that could jeopardize a lawful result. You don't want the case to be thrown out because you're dealing with some big wigs. Not true. You would think that would be the case. How does the computers how them go missing? That should have been the first thing that was it's like we don't remember what happened. It's like we don't remember what happened with the Integrity Commission. We don't remember what with the Integrity Commission. We don't remember. Tell a boy, Jamaica.
Alright, so with all of that, Raleigh, would the evidence be available elsewhere in terms of the technology, mixer, and so on and so forth? Is that remotely based on what we're hearing that the US may have some interest in this and so on and so forth?
Well, I am not certain that the US, that's something that people have said. I am not certain that the US have any interest in this matter and that the US not interested in this matter. I'm not certain about that. People are saying that. I am not certain about that.
That's pure speculation.
If that is so, Raleigh, what credence would that have?
If the US is involved?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that would be, a more serious thing. That would be a more serious approach to that to be taken. The fact of the matter is that the most important thing is that you have to have the evidence. Yeah?
Right.
That's the key. Yeah, that's the key. Yeah? So, does the evidence exist?
So to begin with, Raleigh, in terms of the serious aspect that you're saying be treated with, persons would not be getting
Come on. And I'm gonna move on to the next clip. But you guys need to go check out Portland Spice TV yesterday. No, I have to agree with Raleigh. I mean, if the USA was involved in this, people would be extradited. People wouldn't be getting $1 million bail, ladies and gentlemen. If this was serious ironclad, like them cross all of them T's and dot all of them I's, you would not see. You're not gonna see people just nonchalantly. Man, what? Anyway, let's move on. All right. Let me see when he started to talk about the police force. That's the part I want to get to. Yeah, I think it was late. Here we go. Here we go.
You can come.
Oh. No, man. Perry thing's serious, man. Perry all have odds already. Perry all have odds already, you know. Rampant Perry.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Perspective. I'm your host, Perry Cummings Jr. Persons may know me as Perry in Christ. We are approaching the last 15 minutes of The Perspective tonight. But I wanted to say a few things to Dr. Kevin Blake. First of all, TVJ Radio Jamaica, they made it very clear. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake hails historic drop in murders for 2025.
Right now.
Let me first of all clap. I'm going to clap. If the statistics are genuine, and if we indeed saw a drop in murders for 2025, we should all be celebrating. I agree. Nobody wants to live in a Jamaica where people are being murdered left, right, and center. Nobody wants that. No JLP supporter wants that. No PNP supporter wants that.
I hope not.
So if the statistics is pointing in a direction that we have seen a decrease in murders 2025, hey, hats off to you. But I have another concern. Mr. Commissioner of Police,
yes.
Dr. Kevin Blake.
Right.
I have another concern because 2025,
yes,
we saw an increase in police killings.
Massive increase.
We saw an increase in hoggish behavior.
Yes.
From some of our police officers, not all of them. Let me be very clear.
Yes.
We have respectable police officers in Jamaica.
Yes.
We have professional police officers in Jamaica. We have upstanding police officers in Jamaica. We do, contrary to public opinion. We do. Can I share a little testimony? Was it Saturday? Saturday I was driving to handle some business in Kingston. On my way back to Spanish Town, ladies and gentlemen, I was speeding a little bit. I was speeding a little bit. I'm gonna be very. Listen to me. Let us not speed on the roads. You see all of those crashes that were happening over the Christmas. Please cut your speed. But I felt as if I was behind time, right? So I was stepping on the pedal a little bit. On the ferry, police officers stepped out in the road. The speed gun pointing at the vehicle. I said, my God Almighty. Ladies and gentlemen, I've already paid for 2 speeding tickets in my driving career. And I don't intend to get any more. So when I saw the police officer step out, I said, my God Almighty, here is another 10 grand ticket. Right? No names, of course. Wouldn't share any names. Right? And I saw a police officer came to the side of the vehicle. When I wind down the vehicle, the young man looked at me and said, Pepe guys, go on go to business now. Ladies and gentlemen, I just reverse little bit and I just take my time and I just drive out I feel the Holy Ghost in here. I feel the Holy Ghost. Tell your neighbor. Ladies and gentlemen, I drive.
Yo.
Listen, I know that you're lenient police officers in this
Yes. No,
there are
true.
some police officers who are lenient, who are willing to give up the line.
True, man.
So, hats off.
And on my platform, I hope I make it clear as well that I am speaking about specifically the dirty police them, and I am speaking to the police them that don't call out the dirty police them when them know say them dirty. Like the 20-odd police them where the youth in the house where them open the door and the youth lose him life. Listen, all they all is corrupt. Yeah, man. All they all is corrupt.
But ladies and gentlemen, you have some police officers who are enabled by the divisive words of our Prime Minister.
Yes. Yes. comes back to
by
him.
words of our Prime Minister in recent
Right,
times.
right.
When he said, meet your
The
judge or meet your
maker.
maker. Mr. Commissioner of Police, you have some police officers in your fleet who believe that because the Prime Minister said, meet your judge or meet your maker, they can go out and just kill people.
Now, if you think I lie, Mattel, do you guys remember what Kevin Blake said in one of his more famous addresses to the public? Well, let's go to it, shall we? Meet a judge or meet a maker. I put Andrew Honest, Horace Chang, and Kevin Blake words. And you tell me how this sounds. Let me see, Andrew Honest. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Oh. Where is it? Oh my goodness. I'm gonna find it.
It's the truth. Not many of them have body cams either. So we welcome historic dropping numbers for 2025. When it comes to murders, we welcome that. Nobody's against the progress of Jamaica. Nobody's against murders decreasing. But when you have some of your police officers going around...
Either meet a judge or meet your maker. Our prisons and police lockups are fully populated. I do not train my police to lose. We have the superior training and firepower to ensure that we win every time. And police lockups. Our prisons and police lockups are fully populated. I do not train my police to lose. Our prisons and police lockups are fully populated. I do not train my police to lose.
That was Bishop Jones. Sing Angel, how you doing? The prisons and lockups are fully populated. You know what I take that to mean, ladies and gentlemen? The prison them overfull, so you are going. We not rough for dirt, you know. And guess what? We not gonna lose. We not gonna lose every time. That's what I got from it. I found that very distasteful. I found it as a very inhumane and dangerous statement to make. I found it unconstitutional. I found it treasonous to the Constitution. I found just the statement alone violated the right to life. Because there are some people that believe because you are involved in crime, you don't have the same right to life. There's a lot of people, until they are the one that has to face the same judgment if they was to get caught doing something irregular. You understand? Like a police, you know how they say, do as I say, do as I do, do as I say and not as I do? Yes. I mean, dangerous levels of hypocrisy. Right? Because if the citizens of Jamaica was to take the law in their own hands like a lot of the police do, there's alleged that there's police that are contract killers in Jamaica. It is alleged. Right? There's something about some hit squad years ago. Right? So if people was to exact revenge on behalf of their loved ones that was unalived by the police, you see where this is going? It does not. Crime in Jamaica can never go down, honestly, if it's not done the proper way, because crime truly has not gone down. The police unalivings have ballooned. So next year, what is going to happen? Y'all plan to double the amount of persons that you unalive when they have a confrontation with the police, in quotation mark. This is the new terminology now. A confrontation with the police. Jamaica, listen, I've been speaking about this. I've gone in when it comes to this topic. This topic, listen, I've never had a problem with police, personally, in my experience. Personally, police has never profiled me and nothing. I've been on my way to Kingston and soldier stopped the bus and me just comply and yeah man, whatever. I've never seen the police, thank God, in my presence deal with somebody unfairly. I've never seen it. And that's just my experience. But does it happen? It does. We have seen it on camera. It does. It does. I don't know if it's my demeanor. I don't know. But I've never had a problem with police. I remember I was driving, I was in a taxi a few weeks back. And I forgot to put on my seatbelt and the driver and the police stop and him say, driver, the seatbelt. And I said, oh my God. I said, no, I forgot to put on the seatbelt, you know. Sorry about that. I tell my driver, sorry. Because I know says I think I'm going to help him pay it. Because I supposed to put on my seatbelt. And I forgot to put on my seatbelt. So even if he had on his seatbelt, he would have still gotten a ticket because of me. And most people probably would say them not gonna pay the seatbelt ticket. I couldn't do that. The law says that if I don't have on my seatbelt, then the driver is going to be charged for it. And it's just simple. We took a stop, we drive from that stop, and before me remember to put on the seatbelt, just a come from around the corner, the police was there. Talk about the worst timing. Like I literally didn't get that. The place there right there, so, and we are driving around the corner, and before me could have put on my seatbelt, the police, they're right there, so in front of it. So I should have put on my seatbelt before I drive off, you know. But you know when you jump into the car and you drive off, it was like that. It happened so fast. Yo, me say, not even my driver never have on his seatbelt. You understand what I'm saying? And the police said, no man, you're good man. You understand? Because the demeanor of the driver, that's why I'm not really drive with anybody. The demeanor of the driver is as the same as me. Blessed how you doing, Erica? Pick up yourself. The demeanor of the driver was the same as me. It's a humble demeanor. Right? We don't show police no bad face. I give everybody the energy that they give me back. Those police was very professional. Good evening, gentlemen. Such and such, you know, regular stop. But I see that they didn't have on a seatbelt. I'm saying, oh my God, yes. And the man said, no man, just put on a seatbelt, man. Don't worry about it. Yo, if most of the police them stay like that on the road, oh my days. Do you know the type of rapport that the people of Jamaica would have with the police then? Some of the police them, man, some things I'm see, man, and some things I'm hear, man. Mighty God. So, this did not age well.
Our prisons and police lockups are fully populated. I do not train my police to lose. We have the superior training and firepower to ensure that we win every time. Wherever they go, you find them and you bring them in, one way or the other. Whether we bring them in the pickup that come behind us in the car, I don't want to come on a stretcher. It's their business. I don't have a problem with that. Right? But we'll find them and bring them in.
Either meet a judge or meet a maker. We don't care how them come in. Them talk about them like them are animals, like them are dogs, like them less than human. But then again, one of the things that Andrew Holness said in a press conference that a lot of people missed, that I didn't miss on this platform. I don't hear nobody else talk about this. I think I even sent it to a couple fellow YouTubers when Andrew Oles said we will use the emergency powers in a way so that the criminals cannot hide behind being a citizen of this country. They cannot hide behind the protection of being a citizen of this country. Make me find a clip there. Don't wake up my memory banks, you know. Me can get real dangerous when I wake up my memory banks. Yeah? Let me tell you, say this topic is quite dear to me. Very passionate about it because the police need to operate in a manner where they should preserve life and not be so quick to end it. They should de-escalate situations. They should have the coolest head. Pause. Hella pause. Lord of mercy. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Lord of mercy. That's terrible. Pause. Woo. Let me see if I can find it here. Where is it? So they meet a judge and meet to make a clip here. Have it in a man.
Who execute cares.
I am personally looking on all areas of the organization to ensure that all the resources necessary from the state, whether it is the financing, whether it is the international cooperation, whether it is the legislative support, will be made available to the security forces to pursue this relentlessly. They must either meet a judge or meet their maker.
In the meantime, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says a third man is now being hunted by the security forces.
Money laundering, corruption, and criminal organizations that strengthen each other through cooperation and trading in arms, drugs, and, yes, intelligence. The gangs trade in intelligence. It has been said that Latin America and the Caribbean, America, Central. And as I said, when we call them gang, as they feel helpless because the state is on it. An international corporate. But as I said before, don't come back here to destroy your homeland. Operational protocols pertaining is that we're not going to build our economy on the lives of ordinary Jamaicans. The U.S. But the date, another significant portion smuggling entered in their context, or to cast blame to ensure that illegal guns don't make it, as they say, across our border. Operate security at our ports. Our security policy has been to take responsibility for our own security. Can be appropriately scanned to Jamaica. But if you have one hand in your thing to play its part and take through cooperation.
Give me a second, guys.
But believe me when I tell you, delusion will only allow the threat in Jamaica will never be threatened to the point of in South America and in the Caribbean. I mean, Haiti, you still have Honduras, Guatemala.
threat posed by armed groups is not one of run-of-the-mill criminality. Most recent, the new administration in Washington of Jamaican gangs. And the problem was initially of delivering this keynote of this and has been amplified by drugs and crime. The persons importing these weapons managed to corrupt our systems. Now, as some of you may know, 1970s, guns were brought in. Statistic is per 100 of persons within the population who are willing to use them in states such as Florida and Georgia, of resources such as weapons, of the straw purchasers, as they are termed in the United States. The crisis in Haiti, in the neighboring Dominican Republic, and militant groups in Latin America. Over the past 5 years, South American and Mexican cartels have made inroads. The point of highlighting these regional challenges and reiterating the brutally honest with ourselves. We have not placed the effort and resources behind strengthening our security apparatus, our security policy, depending and our seaports to track the vessels in our waters. Now, we are going to make a significant investment in ensuring that we have all the scanners in our ports of containers appropriately scanned to ensure that there is a full rollout of all the scanners we need for guns coming into. Sting blame is neither production or escape responsibility that Jamaica has. Now, having said that,
wait, Mrs. Berry's what's up?
Is inherently
hold up, wait a minute. We got Barry in the building. What's up, Barry? Why mommy lock the door them and just take off my light off of me? Mommy, you're not going good enough. You're not going good at all. Barry, come up here. Me send you an invite. Me look for an audio.
As a mendicant or with all the money today as taking responsibility for could not exist. They can strengthen each other. Yes, intelligent. It has been said, region in the world that at war with each region, gangs, Ecuador declared a state of, and that illusion will only be euphemistically. One day we wake up and Jamaica will never be, if I have anything to do with it. Right across the Bahamas. I mean, you know, El Salvador, they have Deltador, the conflict. Developments, however, to the reality, most recent, the terrorists, but not me, that operate here, terrorists. When you see the events in Harbour Heights, the only adequate descriptor, I said, when we call them gangs, it's a euphemism. Raises these issues of social injustice and because they were denied education or proper housing. No, these fellas drive the most expensive cars, use the most expensive liquor. I don't need to get into it, you know. But they're not the product of any social injustice.
I didn't even listen to this part. Yo, you know, say something wrong with Andrew Holness though. He sees the world in a, like, how do you characterize criminals in that one space? Oh, they drive the most expensive cars. What? You know what?
These and commercial activities. Ultimate objective in the society, so that they can create a safe. So they use violence and the helpless, able to protect Jamaica as it relates to significant dealing with gangs. Is that we euphemistically call gang. So it's we face international. An international corp. We need a global consensus that will create a global war on gangs.
Right, that's all.
That will treat with them in the same way.
Yes.
That international effort was mobilized in creating standardized legislation across jurisdiction, dealing with finances of gangs, but coordinating.
Hold on, before you go into coordinating, ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest organized gangs come out of it, the Shower Posse. JLP. They have documentaries on the Shower Posse. Well, hear what he has to say. This is the part I want to hear.
Of gangs. But coordinating how exceptional and emergency powers are used to deal with these criminals who hide under the protection of being citizens of a country.
What the hell is that? Did you guys hear that? I'm talking about what he said a while ago. Did you guys hear what Adriana said? Let me play it again.
Powers are using how but coordinating how exceptional and emergency powers are used to deal with these criminals who hide under the protection of being citizens of a country.
Andrew Onus wants to remove the protection from people of being citizens of the country, people that are labeled criminals. He wants to remove the protection, and he's calling for a global effort in this way, ladies and gentlemen. He uses the state of emergency powers to remove the citizens' rights, their right to life as a citizen. I want to play it again. This was one of the most disturbing things I heard Andrew Onus say. Listen to this. Very disturbing.
With finances of gangs, but coordinating how exceptional and emergency powers are used to deal with these criminals who hide under the protection of being citizens of a country.
I remember when they caught the robbers in the supermarket or the store. And what did the robbers do? They went on TikTok live. Yo, just to have a day in court, they went TikTok live. I guess they got the memo. Meet a judge, or more than likely meet a maker. Because, remember, it's not my word. The criminals didn't get the memo. The man them go TikTok live, ladies and gentlemen. Mighty God, sorry. Let me turn that down a bit. Why yo? This one I don't know. Holy.
I do not train my police to lose. We have either meet a judge or meet your neighbor. Our prisons and police lockups are fully populated. Police lockups are fully populated. And police lockups are fully populated. Our prisons and police lockups are fully populated. Our prisons and police lockups are fully populated. Our prisons and police lockups are fully populated.
And one of the things that Andrew Jones did was excuse the government of their failure to the youth in the community. Oh, these are not youth that are from the ghetto. Lie. That is a lie. A lot of these using gang them and who are criminals, them come from the ghetto, bro. Some of them come from uptown. Them just like badness. But are you unaliving any youth from uptown, Andrew Honest? Or is the government, is the police going to uptown to lock down the uptown pitney? Normally, a one phone call, because I told Jamaica, and that person that did in the gang, nothing happened to them because they know who for pitney. You know? And some of the youth, them so skilled that them call them parents' name. Quick. Anytime they get in no trouble. My father is such and such. My mother is such and such. Listen, our superintendent Pitney. Hey, let me tell you something. Jamaica, yo. But we have Andrew Jones here saying that he wants to use the emergency powers in a coordinated way to remove the protection from these individuals that they deem as criminal. He wants to remove their protection of being a citizen. So now they can just unalive them because of state of emergency. No court, nothing. Yeah, man, a criminal man, I will kill him, man. And that justifies it. Dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. Dangerous.
But coordinating how exceptional and emergency powers are used.
Coordinating
to deal with the
coordinating how exceptional emergency powers are used to deal with these criminals that hide behind being a citizen of a country. And Jones was speaking on a global level. Archangel, how you doing? Andrew Michael Oles. What a wicked guy. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not, especially now that I am actively examining God's word. We should not have a police force that believes that people that make mistakes, that choose the wrong path, you as a human being have the right to have the last say. I want police on the road that respect life. I don't want police on the road that is speaking like, yeah man, me make one more dopey. You sound like a gangster. You sound like a illegal gunman. That's how they would talk. A lot of these police are hitmen. They are not police. And it's because Andrew Jones' government has created that environment. They have made those statements. That's why I don't respect or rate Kevin Blake. I don't. When he made that statement about the prisons are full, what you saying to me? The prisons are full so the people them can just be unalived. Because they don't have any space for them in prison, yes? And then you have Andrew One saying this. Guys, I did something I left it. I'm gonna piggyback on this argument tomorrow. Wanna remember Jim Brown? Make sure me have them clip here now.
When he was arrested at the request of the Americans, he faced charges of murder, drug trafficking, extortion. From prison, he fought a legal battle against extradition. He lost the fight, but he never stood trial in an American court. It was said that too many powerful people would have been implicated if he had. Jim Brown was burned to death in his cell.
Jim Brown look on the camera and say, yo, you know yourself. You don't have to come talk to me. You know? Jim Brown apparently knew too much, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Brown apparently would have implicated too many big boys, including one of the former prime ministers or one of the former leaders of the Jamaica Labour Party. Huh? Yes. And what them do with him? Oh, sorry, what happened to him in jail? It's quite controversial. You know who let me know about this story? I think it's either Tulax or his brother, one of the twins, spoke about this to prove a point about how them use elements, individuals in the ghetto, put gun in them hand. The government official them, you know, put gun in them hand, have them do things for them, lock them head, don't have a license firearm, you know. I walk around with unlicensed firearm, you know. Politician around with criminal back in ID, you know. Make them in a criminal too, you know. Do them dirty work. And now have the audacity, the same Jamaica Labour Party that started all of this, now have the audacity to come and look at the youths and say that, oh, the youths are gangsters. And who make the gang them? And who plant the seed? And who throw water upon it and fertilizer and make it grow? You, the Jamaica Labour Party. And now, you see, I want the ghetto people, I want the people in the ghetto. I want this to sink in. This message is truly for you. Me hear Twins of Twins say this already. If a politician or anybody get one gun, take your gun and shoot them. If them a push gun pan you, for you go do crime, take the gun and shoot them. Call the police. After that, I make them know, say, this person, when I give me gun, if you go shoot people and do this, and if me never do this, he would have do this to me as self-defense. Yes, man. Yes, man. You never know. Anybody will influence you if you go do crime. And them are the biggest criminal. But you are the biggest fool if you go actually take the tool from them and go do the crime. Because them don't want for them hands dirty, but them hands filthy, them hands dripping in blood. And sometimes I wonder why things happen to the generations down the line. Because of what them father and them mother and them grandfather and them great-great-grandfather do. Right now, if there's a family curse on me, I ask God to lift that. Because you have different type of curse now. You have financial curse. You have all type of different curse. You know what I said? You have people who obey people. Listen to me. Lift up. Sometimes you not even do nothing. Sometimes you not even do nothing. True. Poverty breed crime, of course. That is a fact. Listen to me. If you look at most of the environments in the world where you have proper education and you have proper education is the beginning, the foundation has to be, right? Top level, top tier, right? You're gonna that's where it starts. You're gonna eliminate a majority of the people that turn out to be in their own eyes failures or in society's eyes failures. When you create an education system where people are educated based off encouraging them based off their love and their creativity for something, what you do, you create happy you create happy people that have careers. Everybody don't want the same thing, We say check Japanese. Everybody don't want the same thing. Check Singapore. Education wise, check Singapore. Countries that invest in education, check those countries. Just check. Check the balance. Countries that invest in eradicating corruption, check those countries. Jamaica is so below the totem pole. Oh my God. Everything is Jamaica right now. No matter about corruption and see how the labor them can put some stuff on the internet. It just mighty God. When them gonna supply? Japanese crackdown code. What do you mean? What do you mean? Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta go get some rest. It's now 3 o'clock. Yes. Big up on yourself. Thank you guys for rocking out with me. Oh, the Japanese them crack the code. Okay, so you mean okay. Yeah. Antonio, big up yourself. Everybody. People that still like up TikTok, big up on yourself. I've been on here for 3 hours, so me I go boogie on follow. See? Word is love. Share up the live, see me so somebody else can check the conversation. No. Alright, come on. Oh, happy